What if you could wake up every morning in a different place, with no alarm, no office, and absolutely no limits? Millions of men dream about hitting the open road, but very few actually do it. This is the story of one man who did. It all started with one single decision: to trade the routine for the road, the familiar for the unknown, and comfort for freedom. He took one last look at his driveway, took a deep breath, and pulled out onto the highway. And just like that, the adventure began. The first miles felt electric. Window down, music up, the whole country stretched out ahead like a promise waiting to be kept.
The first stop was the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, misty, ancient, and more beautiful than any photograph could ever capture. That first night, parked beside a mountain stream, with a campfire crackling and no sound but the water and the wind, he knew this trip would change him forever. There is nothing in this world quite like driving an RV down an open American highway alone. It is freedom in its purest, most powerful form. He stopped in small towns that were not on any tourist list and found the most genuine, warm, unforgettable people he had ever met in his life. Then he crossed into Texas, where the sky is so enormous, so overwhelming, it feels like the entire world just opens up and swallows you whole.
As the green gave way to gold, and the gold gave way to red, he knew he was entering the American desert, raw, ancient, and absolutely breathtaking. Nothing, absolutely nothing, prepares you for your first look at the Grand Canyon. He stepped to the rim and went completely silent. 1 mile deep, 18 miles wide, 277 miles long. The Grand Canyon does not just impress you, it humbles you completely. Zion National Park in Utah stopped him in his tracks. Those towering canyon walls of red and white sandstone feel like walking through a cathedral built by the earth itself. Monument Valley at sunset is something you have seen in movies your entire life, but nothing, absolutely nothing, prepares you for seeing it with your own eyes.
Yellowstone National Park felt like arriving on another planet, a world where the ground steams, the water boils, and nature operates on its own wild set of rules. He waited for Old Faithful with a crowd of strangers, and when it erupted, shooting boiling water 180 feet into the air, he cheered like a kid seeing it for the first time. Then a herd of bison walked directly across the road and blocked him for 20 minutes. He did not complain. You do not argue with a bison. People always ask what it is really like living inside an RV alone. The honest answer? Cooking breakfast with a view of the mountains never gets old. Not even once. He parked in the Utah desert one night with zero light pollution and saw a sky so full of stars it looked painted. He sat on the RV roof alone and did not move for an hour.
Pacific Coast Highway in California is not just a road. It is a masterpiece. Ocean on one side, cliffs on the other, and the most spectacular drive in all of America. Then a tire blew out in the Nevada desert at 104 degrees. He pulled over, looked at the flat tire, and burst out laughing. What else can you do? The GPS sent him down a dirt road that absolutely was not built for a 35-foot RV. He learned a very important lesson that day. Always check before you turn. Every hard moment on this trip became his best story. Every breakdown, every wrong turn, every desert storm taught him something only the road itself could teach. The best places he found on this entire trip were not in any guidebook. They came from tips from strangers at gas stations, locals at diners, and fellow RVers at campgrounds.
What surprised him most was the RV community itself, the most generous, helpful, and welcoming group of people he had ever encountered anywhere in the world. On the final day, he drove the last stretch of highway toward the California coast, with the window down and the music loud, knowing something was ending and something else had already begun. He parked on a cliff above the Pacific Ocean, stepped outside, and just stood there. The continent was behind him. The ocean was in front of him. He had actually done it. Thousands of miles, dozens of states, national parks, deserts, mountains,
coastlines, and small towns. But the most important thing he discovered on this road trip was himself. If you have ever dreamed about hitting the road, do it. You do not need the perfect RV. You do not need the perfect plan. You just need the courage to start. Subscribe and come with us, because the road is long, the world is beautiful, and we are just getting started.